What's up, homies? Welcome to No One's Homies, the first of our individual what we're consuming episode. Uh, Before we get into that, just want to say hi to everybody. What's up? This is Clau.
What's up? It's Mark.
As you can see, we're matching today because that's company policy at No One's Home.
On on Mondays you wear red, or
Today,
if it's
yeah.
someone's birthday.
So it's October 19. It's like 2:38 p.m.
Is it
Recording this
anyone's
on a
birthday?
Monday. Uh, yeah, as you can see, my camera angle is just gonna keep changing once in a while because I'm still experimenting with this external camera. I'm using like an application, so forgive me if it's not the most pleasing angle. I know this from the bottom right quick, but I'm also trying to cover a nasty pimple up, so don't uh don't judge. So, anyways, yeah, we were talking about it in the last episode. If you were paying attention, if you listened at all, um, we're gonna be doing separate episodes now for our segments. So that's what we're consuming: sports and the conversation. So last episode was a conversation with Iggy and Migs. If you haven't heard that, go ahead and check it out. It's a good episode, lots of laughs. A lot of people message saying we got good laughs out of it. And yeah, we'll do
And you
sports sometime down the line. But
and you
right
was
now,
funny.
yeah, it was funny. Right now, we opted not to talk sports first because I
We
mean
just
the
been
con.
consuming. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, and
I
on
think
the
sports events, nothing too recent. I mean, you wanted to talk about NBA and stuff, but I think
yeah,
if we can save a lot of the stories to make it a more packed episode,
true
because there's
for
some
like
upcoming
off
ones
season
coming.
stuff. Yeah, see how they develop first.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows the Lakers won the championship, but in my head, the Clippers won. So it's crazy. We didn't blow a 3-1 lead in my head. So we'll save that. But yeah, so that being said, we are doing what we're consuming right now. So if we can, I feel like we can just get into it at this point, right?
You want to play the intro?
Yeah, let's play the intro. I'll mute up.
Alright.
It must consume your soul to become a real boy.
Nice. Um, I don't know if you heard it, but mine cut out for a little bit, oddly.
I hope they heard it because I heard it fine.
Okay.
We're
Well,
gonna, I
well,
mean,
well,
the Zoom thing just makes it a bit harder, to be
yeah,
honest,
it
with
ain't
all our
perfect.
intros and
Maybe I
clips.
can maybe I can get your audio file and then just put it over this so that it's like I don't know if that works that way.
It's up to
But
you.
anyways, so what we've been consuming, man, guys, we've been gone for a while, and I gotta say, in that time, a lot has been consumed on many different levels. In terms of movies, video games, even food at this point. Like everybody's just making new food during quarantine, and I
Yeah,
feel like I've tried
there
so
were
much food.
phases. There were phases of
Yeah.
what people were creating.
Yeah.
Also,
First was like bread, right? Everyone was trying to make
yeah,
their own kind of bread.
hmm
And then sushi bake happened.
yeah. It still goes on, but I mean,
Yeah.
are
Only
you
the
a fan
strong
of that?
survive.
Are you a fan of that
When
sushi
it's
bake?
good. I've had bad sushi bake, but I've had good sushi bake like recently. And I gotta say, the good, I don't get sick of. The bad, I don't even bother a second serving.
I think I've only tried it once. I'm not sure if it was a good or bad place, but it seemed like it's not the kind of sushi I enjoyed before anyway. Like,
Yeah,
I
sure.
know it's closer to like the aburi style, which is pretty rich. It has
Mm-hmm.
like, it'll have
Like
the
the
mayo,
indigenous
they
style.
torch the
Yeah.
fat. So I was like, I don't know if I can eat a whole. It's trays
Tray.
ba? Trays, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
I can only eat like 4 to 6 pieces of regular like
Just
sushi,
right. That's
let
right.
alone the whole tray of this bake style.
Fair enough,
Um,
man.
yeah. What else? Yeah, the bread, sourdough. Mostly, I think it's an interesting bread to make, sourdough. I was watching the chef show, right? John
Yeah, love that
Favreau
show. Yeah.
and Roy
Roy Choi.
Choi,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds fake. That
Who's
sounds like a fake name. Yeah. Yeah.
who's the chef who helped him for the movie
Mm-hmm.
Chef. And John Favreau loves to make sourdough bread, and they have a new episode in their latest season where he goes to like a famous sourdough bread
Bakery.
maker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a bakery slash I think a restaurant or something like that. So that episode, it's so technical. Like making bread seems more scientific than, oh, it's baking, right? It's baking, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people say baking is more chemistry than like regular
Then
cooking. It's all
sure.
about measurements, timings, controlling things to manipulate reactions, especially in bread and things like that.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I get I get why people would have been interested early on, but it's also a very intensive process. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Making
can
bread,
imagine.
yeah. I think maybe that's why like Jesus just ate it unleavened, and they were like, "Eh,
Yeah,
it's
he was
good,
just like,
it's good,
who
man."
you didn't bring the yeast? Are you serious?
Dude, did you let this rest? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can't have we can't bake this yet.
That's a
They're like,
great
"Oh,
show though, actually. I'm not yet on the latest season. I've seen the first episode of the latest season, but I started from the beginning because I
yeah."
found that first episode of the latest season to be so good. So I went from
It
the top with Bianca, and pretty
it's
great
not like
show.
a pure cooking show, right? They do cooking,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of just like it's almost like a vodcast that
Mhm.
takes place in a cooking scenario.
Mhm.
They end up
That's true.
talking to them about. I mean, John Favreau's a director. He directed Iron Man 1. He's
Chef,
acted
the
in
movie.
movies, Chef, the Lion King remake, stuff
uh
like that. Yeah. So
the Mandalorian,
yeah,
one
yeah,
of our
Mandalorian. He's
favorites.
the creator of it.
Yeah.
So they talk about it in more like artistic. He's trying to get into cooking, but he
Mhm.
comes up from it with a different perspective on how to do a creative process.
That's
So it's
true.
pretty interesting like that. And Roy Choice, I mean, they make some excellent dishes,
Dude,
man.
he's so cool. He's like
Yeah,
he seems because there's that episode where it's Roy and the guy from Ugly Delicious, and they're both Korean, right?
Dave Chang. Yeah,
Dave
Dave
Chang,
Chang
yeah.
also has good shows.
Yeah.
Although,
So
although,
I like both of the way their food looks, but
uh huh,
when I was looking at their personalities in the kitchen when they were interacting with John, you can tell that Roy is like he's very serious, but he'll never blow his top. He'll always just be
yeah, yeah.
like I'll just take over from here. But Dave Chang looks like he would rip you a new asshole if you fucked up in the kitchen, man.
Yeah, well, they make if you know them, like if you're a fan of following like chefs and things like that. I know the reputation is like Roy Choi got famous from his food truck for the Korean barbecue
Yeah.
sandwiches. Well, I forget what it's called.
The
I know it's like in San Francisco and things like
oh
that.
my god, I totally
I
forgot. They
Google it.
talk about it all the time.
We'll do a quick Google.
Sorry about this, folks. Uh, I'm trying to, I'm trying to remember this.
Oh, Kogi. It's like a
Kogi, that's it.
Korean Mexican taco truck according to Google.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so like that is not a formal like the movie Chef. It's like it's a guy who's actually trained to be a professional chef
Mm-hmm.
for very I guess like fine dining almost or very high level cuisine, and then they put it in the form of like a food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dave Chang, he just I know as a chef, he's known for kind of going out of the box, not really doing like the typical ingredients or preparations or dishes that come from certain ingredients. One of the notable ones I remember is from his just a TV show he had, and then
Ugly,
you know
delicious.
gnocchi, right? Like the pasta,
Yeah,
right? And he made it out of like the instant noodles before they're cooked. Like he used the that instant noodle you get from the pack.
yeah,
He
yeah.
broke it down in a blender and he used it to make the little gnocchis. I was like, oh,
Genius.
interesting, interesting,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's a good show. Yeah. During the quarantine that latest season came out, there's some notable people in there. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's worth a watch, especially if you're into learning about. I think a lot of people are taking up cooking as a hobby, so they break it down pretty well, or at
Mm-hmm.
least they make you think about it more.
And they show a lot of the complexities when it comes to like making like seasoning and using a blender. Like seeing how they use a
Yeah,
blender has really changed my look on what blenders
true,
do.
true. The way they prepare things is so interesting because it's not doesn't look technically hard, but it's just very you have to be confident, I think, in your skills also to
Yeah,
do it.
that's true. And I
Like they
love
just know
the
what will happen because of doing a certain
true.
process.
I love the like stop motion animation they have before every dish, and then it like breaks apart into the ingredients. But sometimes when you see a dish, you're like, "Oh, I'm
It's
familiar
too
with this,"
many. It's
and then
too
there's so
many
many ingredients. You're
ingredients.
like, "What? Wait a minute."
I've never paused it. I'm just like, I'm not cooking this. So
Yeah, and it's even the
bye.
simple dishes. You're like, "What?" When you realize they take so many steps to make the marinade and whatever. It's
Uh-huh.
crazy.
Yeah, true. What else? What have you been consuming? So we came from food. That's technically one of the first
Yeah,
shows
yeah,
we've
yeah.
mentioned.
Going a little off the cuff. Well, if we're gonna go, since we kind of went from food into stuff we've been watching. You mentioned this before the show, but The Haunting of Bly Manor is
Oh
something that
yeah,
we
sure.
both gotten into. I We were saying that maybe we'll talk about spoilers for that, but I think we'll do that maybe later on. I don't think
Yeah,
we're
we'll try to leave it for the end so that it's
yeah, so
easier
that
for
if
it
you
to
don't want to hear
timestamp.
it, you can just you
So
can
yeah,
just
if you're listening to
not
this
listen to
now,
the
we're
end.
gonna talk about it later. So just check the description for like where to stop or where to
Hmm.
skip.
And you'll hear
Uh,
us naman later. We'll be like, okay,
we'll
we're
say it
about to talk
again.
about the
Yeah.
spoilers for Bly Manor. So yeah. But yeah, I've been watching that, and as our viewers know, I'm a scaredy cat. And I guess in relation to Bly Manor, I watched The Haunting of Hill House because that happened between now and our previous recording sessions. And I was actually chatting with Mark the entire time that I was watching that show.
I
I was
rewatched it also because of you were mentioning it's like your
yeah,
first
yeah.
watch. I was like,
It's a
let me
great
check this
show,
out again.
honestly. Like really great
Yeah,
writing.
yeah. I meant it led to him having this whole anthology series being the second being Blind Manor.
Uh huh.
But
Uh
it's
huh.
just an interesting take on I don't even know if you'd consider it horror at this point.
I
Like
think the
having
second not as much. The first definitely is
but
horror.
yeah, but the first was already in the cusp of like it's horror
Something
is not
else.
the
True.
traditional horror genre. It's like Get Out. Like it's horror, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's not necessarily
Postmodern.
I don't watch enough regular horror to understand what the postmodern
Fair enough. Same here.
perspective
Same
would
here.
be.
I'm not
Yeah.
exactly an aficionado, but yeah, those are two things that I've watched that are pretty notable, and in terms of outside of the Hill House or the Haunting series, I did want to mention this. I finished on HBO Go. It's called Raised by Wolves. It's the new Ridley Scott show.
Hmm.
It's a very weird show. It's about these two androids who are it's like about the future, right? And then in the future there is a war between atheists and like hardcore religious fundamentalists. It kind of sounds a lot like now, but um these two androids were programmed by atheists to kind of deliver these frozen fetuses into a new planet and restart the human race. And like these kids are being raised by androids who have been programmed to have like caregiver like
So not actual wolves.
no, not actual. It's a metaphor. I was also waiting for the
Yeah,
wolves.
like I was like at first when you said androids, like androids that were raised by wolves.
Wolves raised by androids.
I mean, that's
But
just like a dog training robot.
but yeah, it's weird, but I couldn't stop watching it for some
Uh huh.
reason. It's one of those, it's kind of like those weird psychological sci-fi type these things that are trying to talk about like humanity, the fine line between humanity and artificial intelligence, stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty interesting, worth watching if you guys have HBO Go, which comes free with
It's
Sky Cable.
it's HBO Go here now,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Max. We
We
don't
don't
get
get
that.
Max here.
Yeah. Okay.
For our listeners in the States and the other countries that get HBO Max, we don't get that in the Philippines.
It's the same stuff though. I meant
Pretty
the
much, pretty
originals.
much.
The
Not as
originals
nice
at
of an
least.
app though. The app of HBO Max works way better.
Hmm. All right then.
Yeah. What about you? Any other shows that you've been watching?
Shows. I'm trying to think if I have. I don't think I've been watching as much movies during this quarantine, just
Hmm.
because. I mean, it's kind of like that thing where when you go on Netflix and you try to pick something to watch, there's
You
just
get
too many.
you get
So
like
since you have so much
paralyzed.
time, you're like I can just do it later. So I end up just putting it off. And I'm like, never mind, I'll
Never
do it
doing it at all.
tomorrow.
I
Yeah.
feel you. I
So
feel
I only
you.
watched like the ones that are very notable. I haven't watched the ones that you just breeze through, except maybe when I'm going to sleep. I'm trying to remember what's the last thing I watched. Or I watched Burnt, the other chef movie from Bradley Cooper.
Oh, is that any
It's on
good?
Netflix.
I've seen like
Oh yeah,
the
it's pretty good. It's
thumbnail.
pretty good. Yeah, I mean
Oh,
it's very serious and dark, and I think it plays more
oh, no kidding.
on that idea that the living a life of a chef's pretty like ruthless and like how Gordon Ramsay or
Sure.
maybe even how Anthony Bourdain would describe it in his books,
Yeah.
rather than Chef, which is just a super light-hearted
Yeah.
movie.
Did that movie Burnt come out after or before A Star Is Born?
Before, before,
Really?
yeah. But I think
Bradley Cooper with the bangers.
yeah, I feel like that's I when I saw it again, I was like, I see where he was trying to, what direction he was like moving towards when I guess he finished it with A Star Is Born is like
Uh-huh.
the next project.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that one's pretty good. What else? I don't know. Do you have any other? Oh,
Sorry. I was
what is
getting a
that?
phone call. Hold up. I'm using an app on my phone that
What's the app called for everyone who wants
oh
to
yeah,
maybe
it's
up
called
up their webcam game?
yeah, it's called the Irion. It's a terrible name. I think it's a Chinese made app, so it's not exactly intuitive.
Dude, you just installed like a spyware. Did you give them license
Bro,
to turn on your
I use an
camera?
iPhone. I use an iPhone, so I just assume everything is being stolen from me already.
Well, any smartphone, but this one is like you specifically allow them to use the camera.
Yeah, man. Yo, what's up?
Permissions, the
I'm not important.
permissions.
We've said this before on the show. I'm not important enough that I care if they're watching my. They're just gonna see a lot of odd habits.
Oh, I watched speaking of like spyware, I watched the
Yeah, sure.
Snowden movie, the one with Joseph
Oh
Gordon-Levitt.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah. Sure.
I
Me
don't think
too.
it's
Me
like the
too.
best movie, but I just wanted to know more about his
Yeah, it's a
story.
fun ride. It's a
Yeah,
fun ride.
yeah, yeah. And then you get to see how crazy it is with what they did and I probably still currently doing in terms of like surveillance.
Yeah. Oh
Not that
shoot. Yeah. Carry on. Carry on. Carry on. Carry
not that I am like more paranoid because I'm like I guess like I don't think I'm that important,
on. Yeah, and it's like I knew
but
this already.
yeah, but like if you want to see something that might like open your eyes if you don't already know about this whole idea of how people hack into computers, especially
Yeah,
this is the government, most governments.
yeah,
So you can watch that Snowden. I think there's probably a documentary if coming out.
probably.
I think
You can also watch his pod or listen to his podcast with Joe Rogan. He
that's
breaks it
that's where
down.
I came from. I watched the
Yeah.
pod and I was like, I see. Let me
He
watch the
seems way more
movie.
normal in the podcast than in the movie though. In the movie they make him come off as like some like sociopathic, unable to socially interact guy. But in the podcast you're like, "Oh, he's just a dude." Like he's just a normal dude.
I guess that's the propaganda
Yeah,
feeding into
that's
it.
the director's initiative. Oh, but I was saying I got shocked a while ago because I don't remember if I got to mention that I watched Devs. Like did
You did, I think.
and on the old pod before we ended.
Yeah, yeah, I think
Okay,
so.
okay, okay. If you haven't seen Devs yet, please watch it. It's crazy, man. It's crazy for all you people who haven't seen it. It's another mind effer. Um, on the topic of Snowden and whatever, just worth mentioning the social dilemma. Like I know that made its rounds already on Facebook and whatever. It's trended pretty much everywhere. But I think that it's a good documentary to watch just because, like, if you haven't seen the movie or if you don't know what they're talking about in the movie, it's a good way to educate yourself about how like this like social media and other big technology platforms use our information to like direct marketing at us and everything. If you don't know it, it's good to learn. If you do know it, they present it in a unique enough way that it's enjoyable to watch anyway. So that's just off the bat in relation to Snowden.
Fair enough. I have not seen it. I don't know. When people explain, I was like, yeah, like you said, I think I know it.
Yeah,
So I did feel the need to watch it.
yeah,
They already
yeah.
know. My
Not,
phone knows.
I wouldn't say it's a banger, but I'd say if you're interested, give it a look. Uh,
Sure.
So you said you weren't watching a lot of movies during the break. Why have you not been watching a lot of like other than the paralysis? Like what has been taking up your time in
Um,
terms of consumption?
I think we mentioned in the podcast before that I don't play that much video games in general, at least before quarantine. So during get, I would say maybe start of July ish. Um, I started playing games more consistently and actually got like hooked. You know, like playing a lot
Mm-hmm.
in a
Mm-hmm.
day. Like
Got
it
the
started
bug.
with Dota. I've never played Dota 2 in my life like before this quarantine, but some of our friends were like suggesting it. Shout out to Marcy because he is the number one. Um,
Shout out Marcy, Angelo Marcelo,
yeah, number
the
one.
Dota
What do you call this?
evangelist.
Yeah, the Dota evangelist. He'll send you the documentary for OG and then
he
start you off from there.
he has sent me
Yeah.
multiple. I'm amazed
It's
at
it's
how
a good
many there
documentary
are.
also though, made by Red Bull Sports. But
Mhm.
but I watched that last year before I was even playing because I just wanted to, it's just like a sports documentary in itself.
Mhm.
But I started playing Dota. It's a pretty heavy game. And it gets a lot of it has a reputation for being like a toxic game because it's super competitive, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's a lot of stories of like if you imagine like a internet cafe and people screaming and making
Yeah.
mura each other, then it's usually because of Dota. And by playing the game, I can see why because it's such a complex team game. Like considered an esport, right? And I was trying to figure out like technically why is it and how do you play it, and it requires all five of you to be kind of in sync, know your parts, know your roles. Everyone has a job to do, and it's not always like a glamorous job. It's not always the one where you'll kill the enemy heroes. So it becomes such a complex it's almost like you have to start with your skill, then I have follow through with this, and the timings and the positioning has to be perfect. So it obviously makes it way harder for people to get right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, Pinoys are just like they're pretty toxic in most online communities as it is. Facebook
I can
comments
vouch for the
to
difficulty of Dota. Mark tried to get me to play like a game with them, and while I appreciate the spirit of competition and like the difficulty of trying to learn a new skill, it was so overwhelming, man. Like there was too
yeah,
much
it's
I had to know how to
definitely
do.
like I I joined because like my our friends would like guide me through games, but there were times when I'm like I can't do anything right now. Like there's just no tutorial that will make
Yeah.
it easier. You can play with bots, but it's not the AI of the bot is so generic that it won't train you to see what other people how
Yeah.
they would
Yeah.
actually make those decisions.
It's true.
Yeah, so I played that for a lot. Like in the first two months, I think I logged in like 500 hours. That's
That's
pretty.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's more hours than
We-
I played Red Dead Redemption.
Dude, I got hooked. I've eased off it recently just because I mean looking at other games and also like the mental focus you need to play one game, which is like maybe let's just say average 40 minutes. So although some can go all the way up to like an hour 10, something like
Really? I
that,
didn't
and you have to be
realize that it
locked
could
in.
be that
Yeah,
long. Yeah.
because especially the hour 10 games, that means it's either really close or I mean, yeah, it's probably really close. That's why it's taking so long, right? Because you would have
Mm-hmm.
just finished it off already.
Mm-hmm.
So that means the next like big fight, team fight, where it's 5-on-5, that could determine who wins. Everyone's pretty conservative in terms of where they're going to go around the map and what they're gonna how they're gonna try to initiate a fight. So
Yeah.
it gets pretty tense. Like you just see them running in and then they'll back right out when they don't think they have a chance if you're the one defending your base or
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. So yeah, there's Dota. What else do we play? We played a little Valorant, Cloud.
Yeah, yeah, we
We
did.
did.
Tried that out. It's a free to play game. It's like Counter Strike with powers. So it's like
Like
Counter
just
Strike
like
mixed with
special
Overwatch.
abilities. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really fun.
Feel like it's
But
easier than Counter Strike,
it's
and as
easier than
as it
Counter
is right
Strike.
now.
Yeah, but it's actually I have nothing really bad to say about it. I don't I just fell off playing it. As you
Yeah.
did that too,
I
I
mean,
guess.
it's I'm not an FPS like addict. I've
Mm-hmm.
never been too super hooked on like COD and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
what do you call this? I mean, it's fun, and then when I'm on my own, I don't really look to play it by myself to like be in the competitive, like try to do the ranking thing, which
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
big deal in these esports type games.
Yes,
Ranking,
definitely.
like
Yeah,
Dota, also
yeah.
Valorant. We've been playing a lot of multiplayer games just because that's how we hang
Mm-hmm.
out.
Spell break. We
Spell
also
break,
tried some.
yeah,
It's a new battle royale. It's like you get elemental powers and
yeah, it's free. Also, you can get it on like PS.
yeah. On
Uh,
PC, we've been playing on PC, so that's on the Epic Game Store.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then I think it's on Switch if you have one. I don't know if it'll run super well, but
I don't think it's out just yet on Switch.
that one's like
I'm not sure.
Avatar. You have like
Yeah,
elemental abilities,
yeah,
and then regular battle royale.
yeah.
Move to the circle, survive.
Mm-hmm. It's
People are
actually
too
really
good.
fun. It's a good
People
power
are too
fantasy,
good
but
though.
then some like it just happened like one day everyone got super good at the game and it just wasn't as fun anymore.
I think early on we were just playing with bots,
Yeah.
and they
So we
let us join
we
the
thought
real
we
game
were
and
the
like get.
shit, bro.
I was like, we won 4 games in the first, I don't know, like 5, 10,
Yeah.
somewhere there, and then we
Yeah.
were like, dude,
Dude, we got
let's
this.
go. And
Then the
then
next few games we got owned and I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, I think we just got into the real matchmaking."
people with like skin started popping up, and
Yeah.
then it was a wrap.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I've actually been debating with myself recently if I'm going to be uninstalling Spellbreak or not because I've gotten pretty frustrated. Even playing on my own, like people are pretty damn good. So
Why?
yeah.
I mean, you
But
can leave it on. You need the space. Oh yeah, you haven't announced on this podcast that you have a new laptop,
oh
right?
yeah, yo. Okay, so
Yeah.
speaking before we continue with the video game talk, which I assume is going to
I
be
think
the
you can use your phone
majority.
to show it off.
I can. So, I got a new laptop, yo, because well, my old laptop kept resetting when I was doing stuff, but also because I wanted a gaming laptop. You know, I wanted something to be able
And
to play
yeah,
heavy
we were
duty titles.
discussing this for months and months.
Months, yeah. Mark is the freaking enabler too. He was like, and he was like, I was still talking about like, yeah, I've been thinking about I'm gonna get a new Mac soon. He goes, dude, just get a gaming laptop na lang. And I was like, hmm. And I started thinking about it. He sends me a few videos, then I go down the rabbit hole, and the rest is history. But yeah, here it is. I'm using it closed lid right now because I get a lot of dust in my
Damn.
room. So yeah, that's it. That's my
Does
cooling
it got the
fan.
lights on?
Keyboard. Yeah. Yeah, I'd open it up, but then it's gonna do the whole like switch screen thing. So I'll do
Yeah.
that
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
It's not that
What is it?
important.
It's a Lenovo Legion
Yeah,
7i for
this is
all
the Legion
the tech
7i.
heads out there.
Yeah, this is it's off of the Lenovo's gaming line, which is Legion and
But if you
7i.
saw it, it didn't look too
Yeah,
gamey. As
it's pretty
people like
understated, which is why
the
I like it.
stereotype of like a big
Hmm.
black and red.
Yeah,
That's the
neon
old
lights.
idea of.
This does have like a crap load of lights, which I wish wouldn't go crazy when I turn the thing on. Every time you turn it on, it's just like,
And then it goes to your setting.
then it goes to my setting. But
Yeah.
but it's just crazy.
The
Like and it,
RGB life.
yeah, but I can do this thing where I hold down a button so the lights don't turn on. But you know, I'd like to just not have it do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And,
sure.
other than that, I'm really happy with this laptop. Though I gotta say, man, a lot of people online having problems with their own models, especially people who bought it early. A lot of people are dealing
Oh.
with the hinge breaking and with thermal problems. I've solved the thermal problems and I don't have a
Just be
hinge
careful with the
problem.
hinge. Yeah.
Knocking on wood though.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, that just goes to show, especially with gaming laptops, I noticed because when it comes to premium notebooks like the XPS 15 or the MacBook, you know, you don't really get these quality control problems because they're built as premium notebooks. But when you get these gaming laptops, most of them have like one or two problems because they're focused so much on the hardware
The
inside, the
performance,
CPU,
right?
the GPU
Yeah.
performance, making sure it runs games well, that the actual hardware, the outside, the shells, they take a hit. They take a hit. So that's just something to consider, and that's another benefit that
But
building a
that's
full
like
PC has
it's not
over a
like a whole
laptop.
series, right? It's like model to model.
Model to
Like this
model,
mod, they oops, we missed.
manufacturing series to like depending on
True,
where
true.
which factory you got.
This batch had a bit.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think the
okay.
Philippines got lucky because I'm on the Legion Philippines like user group where we all just kind of troubleshoot with each other and share pictures or whatever. And I asked around. I was like, "Hey guys, I've been seeing a lot of news online, like from around the world, Singapore, Malaysia, the States, Canada, and some people are having issues with their hinges. And these people, as soon as they got their model, when they would open it up, they'd hear like a clicking sound, like a every time they would open the hinge, and that's not good. Like that's never good. But I was asking around, and here in the Philippines, we didn't seem to get them. Also, because we bought ours from the store, and a lot of these people bought theirs from online and had them shipped. So I think that also might have had something to do with it. I don't know.
I don't. I wouldn't imagine it to, just because at this point online buying is pretty regular. But
It's
it
true,
could.
but
I
you
mean,
you,
off chance, you
you
never
can
know.
never can tell.
Yeah, you're just
Uh,
lucky that so far
yeah,
you're
lucky
good.
so
You're good.
far. Worst case scenario, I have premium care for the next 3 years, and if it breaks,
That'll
get it
fix that.
fixed, yo.
Yeah, that'll
Get it
fix
fixed.
that. There's a Lenovo service center near my office in BGC,
Oh,
like right
really?
across. Yeah.
Well, I'll
So
just drive there, man.
yeah. That's why easy
Yeah,
enough.
easy
You
enough.
got a bundle, right? You got
I
a
did.
sick
Yo, oh,
bundle
shucks,
for
man.
again for the
Yeah,
gamers,
yeah.
dude.
That's my. It comes with a. So as you can see, there's the laptop and it's hooked up to my monitor, and yeah, I have an Xbox controller there because it
Do you
works
get
with.
one from old
Yeah,
one?
no, I just bought one.
What?
Yeah, because it works with all games. Like sometimes
I
my
know, but
PS4
like
controller doesn't.
Switch Pro controller works
No,
on
not with all
Steam.
games, man. Not with all games.
Really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
with games that you get off of the Epic Store, it depends. And some games that I get through uh, through other means, definitely only the Xbox controller is
Oh, for
compatible.
real? Damn,
Yeah,
I have
for real.
to think about that.
Yeah, to just give it some
Um,
thought. But I mean,
but
that's
yeah.
only because some games, like especially story-based third-person games, I prefer a controller than the keyboard and mouse.
No, yeah. I
Yeah,
meant I was gonna use my Switch Pro controller. I didn't know
yeah.
that there would
It
be
depends. If it's a Steam game,
limitations.
you're pretty much set. Most Steam games
Sure.
support the Switch Pro controller. Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking about Steam. Where
yeah,
it
for
works
sure,
fine.
for sure. Most Steam games.
Um, but yeah, that monitor is like the specs also for the again the tech nerds out there
Mm-hmm.
is it came free. I asked Cloud like what is this monitor? Is it one of those like office monitors they just give away
No,
because it's cheap? But it
so
was a
this is a
legit.
gaming monitor.
It was
This
a
is a
legit,
gaming
and
monitor.
it ain't no joke of a
Yeah, it's not
gaming
a slouch
monitor.
either. So this is a 240 hertz, 27-inch, 1440p monitor. And it comes with a
God
speaker, like a
damn.
cute. There's a
Yeah,
cute little
yeah.
speaker down here. It doesn't do much. It's not great quality, but does the job. You know.
Dude, but 27 inches, 240 hertz, 1440p is probably on the high end if you're not talking about 4K gaming, which
Yeah,
is pretty rare right now because it's just so expensive to get those monitors.
yeah. It's
So
pretty great, but
but
my
yeah,
laptop performance takes a hit because of it plays at
let's
1440p.
trade
Nah,
screens.
nah, son. But I did learn something. This is for more of the technical people out there. So apparently, with my monitor, uh, since I'm playing off of a laptop and I'm not playing off of and like I'll be connecting right now I'm playing through HDMI. And when you play through HDMI, the refresh rate or like how many frames per second you can get is maxed out at 120.
Yeah, yeah.
So I ordered this cable where I plug into my Thunderbolt port, which is USB-C, and then I can plug it to my display port, which gets me 144 hertz.
Yep. So
But
you're not
if I
using you don't have a display port on the laptop. It doesn't have on the
no,
back.
doesn't come with a display
Ah.
port. No, that's not very common. I think with
Um,
laptops, I don't think so. Like the
I
dedicated
think
display port. Huh?
I think there are a few gaming models that have, but it is
Yeah,
not normal. Fair
yeah,
enough.
and
HDMI can say it's like everyone
very
knows it.
run of the
TVs,
mill. You know,
everything.
yeah.
But yeah, once you
And
get into the
the Thunderbolt port supports 144. So I guess they figured like we'll cut our losses at 144 hertz.
so you got the cable?
I
I
ordered
guess.
one off Shopee. and it was
All
pretty
right.
cheap actually. Like, I hope
We'll
it
see how the
lasts.
quality, yeah, the
Yeah,
quality
we'll
is.
see.
Cables matter from us
They
making
yes,
podcasts and music to
yes,
learning
super.
about cables matter a lot.
Yeah. Wait, Mark, I've
um,
been flexing my laptop. I want you to tell the people, like y'all thought I
yes,
went, y'all
I
thought
have
I
my
went ham
story of
with
my
this. Check
own.
out what the boy has got behind him right now.
A little context when we were mentioning like the start of me gaming, I was using my laptop which we record our music on and stuff. It's a gaming laptop,
Hmm.
and I think it's like 5 years old or something like that. So it's
Must
still
be at this point.
okay, but not like it would. Dota would run well if I had to play COD. It would be on low settings
Hmm.
already and
Which
stretching
people
that
do
out.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People
No
do that
problem,
anyway.
huh?
Yeah.
I mean, had just as much fun in my eyes playing it. I never thought like this don't look good. I don't like to play anymore. Never crossed my head. It's just like I'm playing the game, playing with my friends. This is it. But thinking about next gen consoles, PS5,
Hmm.
Xbox Series X, and also all the other tech releases we were looking at when we were discussing laptops and
Hmm.
inevitably just PCs in general. I ended up getting my own gaming PC desktop because my laptop's still fine. Decided that more bang for your buck for your desktop,
Sure.
as usually is. And
Yeah.
then I built one with the help of my cousin who has his own gaming PC. He helped me pick out the parts, went to a store, and the rest is history.
Is it possible for you to show it right now? Like, can you move your
Let
table
me
or
let me
something?
try connecting to this Zoom on my phone,
All right. All right.
like muting it so it doesn't double audio.
Yeah. While you do that, I just wanted to let people know. So Mark was planning on getting a new laptop at first, like updating his current
Yeah,
model.
that's why we were just on gaming laptops. But
That's how he
whenever
got my
we'd
foot
get,
in the door. And then I pulled the trigger before he did to get the new laptop. And he just decided, you know what? I think I'm going all in, bro.
no, well, I was gonna wait PS5.
you,
There were a lot of like
yeah, there was a toss up.
moments.
That's right. That's right.
Again, for other
Somewhere
PC
along the road.
gamers, there were all these announcements for new graphics cards and processors. So I was waiting for that also. And
Yeah.
after the it released and like the stock situation, I decided just to go ahead with what's available right now. I didn't want to wait too long.
Yeah,
So
somewhere. Oh, let me know if you're trying to join. I'll accept you into the call.
yeah, can you
But
see it?
somewhere along the road, Mark was like, "Yeah, man, the back of my head, I'm kind of considering getting a full rig." And I was like, "Back of your head."
Wait, let's see.
Here's the boy.
Oh, there. So there it is.
Boom! Oh my
Look at that.
goodness!
Some
Oh
people
my
might hate the
goodness!
RGB. I'm still debating how far I want to take it. I don't think it's too crazy
I
right
think it
now.
looks clean though. It's not
Yeah,
it's not like offensive RGB.
got a little smart bulb for the ambience.
That didn't come with the computer, by the way.
No, that's from True Value Cherry Home.
Man, check that out. It's
But
clean
yes,
though. Clean. What? Show them the keyboard, yo. Show them the keyboard.
so this is my mechanical keyboard. It's a Ducky for all the keyboard enthusiasts out there. And then I changed the keycaps. This podcast getting hella technical with, with our, but if you know us, I mean like outside, and especially the people we talk to us for about these things
Yeah,
also, we do get into the weeds about what tech we're looking at,
it's
and
true.
we have some friends who are also, I think, like Angela Marcel is thinking about the desktop PC as well because I mean he plays a lot of Dota also, looking
Hmm.
at for other games. And then we have our Southridge group where a lot of people actually ended up playing PC games with their current computers. Some got new ones also in the quarantine and they can use it. So for somehow, some way, we're all in this PC gaming adventure.
And
Pretty wild.
it has grown because of quarantine. I think people just decided to bite the bullet, and there've been a lot more distributors and like people reselling pre-built rigs,
Yeah,
just because
yeah,
they know people need it for work first of all, and then why not get like an all-in-one? You get one for work, might as well be able to use it for gaming too. So a lot of
true,
people
true.
have just kind of done it and gone it. My brother even bought his own. It's like right outside. So
Is it
uh
is it here? Is it there?
it's I can't I mean it would be too much
No, but
trouble
yeah,
to
it's
show you
there.
right now.
It's
But yeah,
arrived.
it's here. It's finally here.
Doo-doo-doo.
Um, so yeah. Oh, before well, we're running at around 30 right now. So I think I'll just mention one more thing before we go into spoilers for Bly Manor. And I think we've chewed your ear off enough about how happy we are about our new
Yeah,
purchases.
dude, gaming on this is sick.
It's great. It's a dream. It's a
Yeah,
dream,
man,
honestly.
it's different. It's different level. Um, yeah, if you're a PC gamer or looking to get one, you're into this stuff, you can message me in Cloud or No One's homepage
Yeah,
if you want to talk
yeah.
about this stuff.
Please do. Yeah,
We
please
have
do.
no problem talking, like, again, deep into the weeds about the
Hmm.
the specs. We didn't want to give you all the processor stuff here
Yeah,
because it'll
yeah,
take us
yeah.
forever.
But
But
we'll
but if
happily
you want to
break that
know,
down for
yeah, if
you.
you want to know what the parts are, dude,
Yeah.
no, no, it's easy.
All right. Just before that, one more game that I've been playing, and this is also a call to action because I've been playing this game alone, and I've been asking people to play with me.
It's a
Apex
plea for
Legends,
help.
people. Apex
Come back,
Legends.
come back.
I'm on this grind. The game came out a couple of years ago. Used to play it on PlayStation. I made it to like level 40 plus on PlayStation, and then I fell off because other games came out. But then as soon as I got my PC, I wanted to start playing more first person shooters because I wanted to test out how my like reflexes and aim were. And I'm in love. I'm once again in love with this game and I can't stop playing it. If you guys are playing Apex Legends on PC or whatever, let me know. Hit a brother up. I'm down to play with you. I play with Chinese and Indian guys all the time. Like all the time. Too much of the time. Anyway, that's that's about it for what we've been consuming I think on the video game, and we have more stories. We've been playing
Yeah,
a lot of other stuff too, but like
and there's a lot of games coming out soon.
true.
So I think that'll be a staple for this segment moving
Yeah,
forward. Now that we have
definitely.
these new updated rigs.
Definitely. So that being said, we're about to go into spoilers for The Haunting of Bly Manor. I don't think we're gonna take too long into this. Just talk about some nice details and other details about the show that we
Uh,
liked and maybe disliked.
so I guess if you haven't seen it, you can stop here.
Yeah, or
We
if you're not
appreciate
done
for
with
the
it, if you're
listen.
watching
Yeah,
it and not done with it, I can't tell
yeah,
you that we're gonna do the spoilers in sequence. So you're
yeah.
better off just not like listening to this part until you've finished.
True that.
I
Yep.
think for future episodes, I'm gonna try and make another bite just so that we can like a spoiler buffer, just so that in case.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. I say we just get into it.
Yep. What were your thoughts about the series?
Okay. As a whole,
Yeah.
I thought that obviously not as scary as The Haunting of Hill House.
True.
Way
True.
way less
This is
like
coming
scary
from
tone.
people now with a low tolerance
Yeah, we're very low
for
tolerance,
horror.
but definitely way less scary than Hill House. But I thought the writing was just as good, if you ask me. Like they did it with just as much care, in my opinion.
I think there were some. Okay, well, number one, yeah, it wasn't as scary. The ghosts themselves weren't even really like ghosts compared to like Hill House, where
Yeah,
they look like freaking undead or monsters or
yeah,
something like that.
monsters,
Yeah,
bent neck lady.
yeah. Second, I think the story, I think it didn't start out as nice as Hill House. Towards the end,
Sure.
that's where I kind of felt um when they were when they fleshed out who was the Lady of the Lake,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um what was the reason why Flora and
Miles were acting
Miles
weird.
were acting weird. That's where I got it because beyond that, it was just more like random, strange things occurring,
Yes.
and I was like, okay, whatever. I don't even. There's no connection or investment into why you would want
Yeah.
to know why it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was also kind of weird that the same actors, since it's an anthology, were like in British accents. Some of it was a
Mm-hmm.
little
Luke,
strange to
yeah, the
me.
youngest brother from Hill House. His accent was a little off-putting,
I think so, but his character as a whole was pretty
convincing.
yeah, convincing. As it grew, and I parang got desensitized to the accent, which I don't think was the best. But
Agree.
but his like the emotion of
Mm-hmm.
his character when he was acting was pretty solid. At the end, he's the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
See Peter Quint, and you really got a sense of wanting to like hate him because
Yeah.
he's like just a douchebag character till very up
till the
close to the
very
end,
end,
really.
till the
Yeah.
very end.
There's like one moment I was like, he said sorry. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, fuck you. I love the acting of the kids though. They were
True,
spectacular. Like
true.
for young actors. Did you know that Flora is the voice of Peppa Pig?
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I learned that halfway through and it kind of fucked me up a bit. Every time she spoke, I was like, "Oh my god, like this is Peppa."
I like Flora more, but I think her character
Same.
had more depth in general anyway.
Yeah,
Miles was a
yeah.
very mysterious character at the start. Why was he acting up? And then once you find out that it was just him being possessed,
Yeah.
it's like okay, okay.
And
But
there was
but Flora was like a lot of like when she they revealed that she could see the ghost right
yeah.
pretty early on. So it was like, oh, interesting how she's kind of not afraid of them,
Yeah.
and at the same time, she must know something more about it because she's telling what's the name of the main character, the American girl,
Danny.
Danny, like to stay in her bed. And
Yeah.
then when they were playing hide and seek, she said shh to the ghost, which was just like
Dude, I was just gonna
nonchalant,
bring that up. Like
nonchalant. Yeah, I
I
was like,
could
oh
not do
shit.
that. Like the
So
sound but it was making, it was like, and she was like, shh. Oh.
yeah, that's like what
Tapang,
the fuck?
tapang.
Yeah, damn.
I also
Um,
wanted to say the actress of Danny, I don't recall her name, but she played the main character in Hill House as well, the youngest daughter.
yeah, she's
Uh,
also the main girl in You season 2.
huh, really?
Yeah, that's the same girl.
I haven't seen season 2. I only saw
Yeah,
season 1.
Hill
Okay.
House. That's her first like breakout role.
All right. I'll check it out. She's great. She's so good, man. Like her
Yeah,
control of
yeah.
emotions is amazing.
I've seen her in a few interviews, and then she's pretty serious about like the acting aspect of her work. So
Seems
I was
like
like,
it.
I'm sure whenever I see her, her characters have a little, they're not, they're pretty regular characters on the surface,
Hmm.
and I think she just brings a little extra to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Like she really sells the stress of the moment and the weight of the emotions that she's feeling.
yeah,
Like she plays a good depressed person. I don't know.
yeah. It's
Like
kind of the same. It's kind of the
I
same
don't know if
vibe
that's
in the three. If you watched all three, like
yeah,
it's someone who has like a deeper sadness to it. Then how do you express it in like on the surface you're okay, but you're actually dealing with a lot.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought that what they did with Hannah Gross, the bald lady who the housekeeper, I
Uh
thought
huh.
that that was a really interesting storyline.
I
How
I kind of called it early on. In the first
hmm
episode, the early one before it was more obvious. When she wouldn't eat, I was like,
yeah,
why is she
that
why
was
isn't
it,
she
right?
eating?
Like
Right?
that was
Why is
it.
she eating? But the
Yeah.
only time that got weird was when she was
When she
drinking by the
drinking by the
campfire.
fire, right?
Yeah,
That
that's
was
the only time I
weird
was
for
like,
me
what is
too.
this? What is this?
Yeah. And
So
then
yeah.
it seemed like there was a rule. Bianca was the one who pointed it out to me. The show seemed to have established this rule where if the ghost doesn't know that they're dead, they can
They can
kind
hang
of
around a lot. Yeah.
yeah, they can
Yeah.
kind of like touch stuff and whatever and it's not too odd. But as soon as they figure out they're dead, they get like weird.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why that would be, but
That was
yeah,
a
that's
weird
what the
one for
case.
me
Like,
too. Yeah, I was like, I wish the rules of the universe were a little more consistent.
I don't think it's the same universe.
Or fine. I wish the rules
Yeah,
of like the ghosts were just a little bit more clear, I guess, more than
fair
consistent, a
enough.
little
Fair
clearer.
enough.
The Lady of the Lake, I like that story arc. I did like that. She was freaking terrifying to look at. My God. And not
Yeah.
the worst version of her was when she was in transition to becoming faceless, and then
Like
like
when she was sick
no 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 when she was like
in the room,
she was
like
yeah
locked
but
in the
she would keep
room.
they when they were explaining like oh she kept waking up walking and
Yeah.
then there was that point where her face was starting to obscure but it wasn't completely gone and oh god that I couldn't
It's
sleep
like a
man
little
like every time
Voldemort
yeah
vibes.
dude every time I was falling asleep I would just think about it and I'd be like ah damn it Viola.
Yeah. But so I mean, she was a ghost. Peter Quint and Miss Jessel were
Yeah.
ghosts. Hannah Gross ended up being a ghost. She
Yeah.
died right before
Right
Danny
before
arrived.
Danny arrived. Yeah.
But the weird one was like Lord Wingrave. What's his name? Harry?
Yeah.
Henry
Henry.
Wingrave
He,
had just like a alter ego demon
yeah. He just
haunting
he just
him.
had
It wasn't a
issues.
ghost. Yeah, he just had
He
the
just had
issues
issues.
from cheating on his brother with his brother's
Yeah,
wife.
from cuckolding his brother. Which you need to have issues to do something like that.
Yeah, but like it was weird that it was just like him having an internal
And smiling.
conflict. Yeah, but like it got fixed with the ghost, but it wasn't really a ghost because he was still
Yeah.
alive, right? So
Yeah.
that was just a bit weird, but it
True.
served its purpose enough for
Yeah.
especially that episode where it focused more on that where it came
Yeah.
from. Yeah, the timelines they jumped around a bit, but in a very interesting way, especially when they tie it all back together. Nga.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I mean, like they did the flashbacks a lot, like Miss Jessel and things like that.
Mhm.
So at first you can't tell why until they tie it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ghost rules were kind of weird.
Yeah, a little
The
odd.
it's me, it's you, it's
You,
you, it's me,
it's
it's
us,
us.
and it's like
Let
it's
them in.
confusing. It's confusing. But uh in terms of their wrap up with how Danny ended up with the lady of the lake inside of her, and then like dealing with that for years, I thought that that was a really, even though I don't think it was done very elegantly, I
Mm-hmm.
think that it was a very nice way of portraying depression or dealing with certain like continuing mental health concerns, because of the idea that, like, okay, so she was dealing with the whole thing about her fiance dying, and that became her ghost, and then she got over that, right? And then suddenly the lady of the lake became like her new ghost, and it kind of
Oh,
showed
I didn't think
me,
about it like in that sense. Yeah.
yeah, and it kind of showed me like how, when we go through these things with our mental health, especially with these persistent mental health concerns, you think you've overcome it at a certain point, and then it just kind of comes back even stronger in more overwhelming ways, and then you feel even more bogged down because you thought like, oh man, I thought I was over this.
Yeah, but her dealing with the second one was also like thinking about it now was dealt with it without a completely different way. The first one she was fearful, she ran away,
Mm-hmm.
moved all the way to England to try to
Yeah, yeah.
escape it, would cover the mirrors. And the
Yes.
second one it was her with her partner Jamie, and
Yes, yeah.
then they would deal with it with with
It's
kind of
stride.
like a hope and
Mm-hmm.
also making the most out of it and more acceptance in the sense of we can still live a life
Yeah, yeah.
despite of whatever
As
this
much of a
condition
life as
is,
we can
right?
live, yeah.
So it was more uplifting in that sense. So
That's
maybe
true.
it shows
That's
like a
true.
growth in her, like the second time she accepted this burden and she dealt with it in a more positive way
Yeah,
overall, although
that
the
is
ending
true.
was pretty sad.
Pretty tragic, right?
Man,
Like
yeah.
in contrast to how tragic the ending actually was, like show, because like the one that,
Well, Hill House was also like that, to bittersweet endings, right?
true, yeah. But
They
yeah,
never
I
let
just thought that
everyone
it
get
was
away.
I thought that it was just some great metaphor work there, and
Yeah, I think so. I didn't see it till you kind of explained it. But her character comes full circle in
yeah,
more ways because of that idea of her
yeah.
growth in that sense. Okay.
And just to wrap this up a bit, because we're about on 45 right now. So, I th- I read on Reddit a few things where they made a connection between the fading of the ghosts and dementia, and how like little by little you don't realize why you're doing the things that you're doing, but you've fallen into these old habits and you do them over and over again. And that hit me pretty hard, like my grandmother who's dealing with Alzheimer's right now, and you see it's kind of similar in the same way,
Mm-hmm.
like it's not that she's become a ghost of herself, but you can see that she's like, why am I doing these things? Why did I get up again? Like, why am I cleaning the house again? So it hit me in a certain way. I'm not sure if it said anything relevant about it, but I thought that it was a pretty powerful image in that sense when you think of it in that way. Yeah.
Okay. Um, the ending, the last part where it was Jamie. They revealed it was Jamie telling the story, and they were at the
Yeah, yeah.
wedding. Owen was
Yeah.
there. It's Flora's wedding. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of obvious towards the end already.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. My
but
middle
they did
name
that
is
little,
Flora.
yeah,
Like, you didn't,
how
you didn't
quaint, how
notice?
quaint.
You didn't notice that everyone in that story is here in your wedding?
And then I didn't like how they said like they just forgot it. I was like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? She
It's
seems
like,
so mature at that
yeah.
age. Like they were willing to give their bodies up for these
Yeah.
ghosts, and
They
suddenly
don't
they
seem like the
forget.
kind of kids to repress memories anymore,
Yeah,
you know?
they knew they were getting tucked away in the memories when they were
Ay,
possessed. Come
nako.
on now, come on,
Come
they
on. Yeah, come
forgot.
on.
Come on.
Give my girl a bit more credit. Oh, you're doing a reveal at the end. Okay. That's why.
Nah, I didn't like. I still don't think it was worth that little
Yeah, I
like
wasn't crazy about that
heartwarming
either.
reveal in the end. I was
I
like,
wasn't crazy about that
yeah,
either. But
that's
I thought
just
it
a
was
little.
cool. And
Yeah,
I love Owen. Can I just say I really love the
mm,
character of
it's
Owen.
just straight up good guy Owen.
Yeah, but he goes through the worst shit, arguably among all of them.
Oh,
He's
tragic for him also though.
yeah,
I mean, like the
man.
Hannah Gross storyline.
Yeah, and like his mom, the one day that he decided to
Yeah.
like take care of the kids, like his mom passes, like damn man, I feel for
Mm-hmm.
you, Owen. You my
Yeah.
boy, Owen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all I gotta say about that. If you guys who did end up listening to this spoiler portion have stuff you want to share, let us know. Hit us up
Yeah.
on
Mm-hmm.
DMs or whatever, Instagram, Facebook, yeah, wherever you
I
want.
think I didn't. Yeah, it's for people who watch because I don't think we even described the whole storyline. I mean, if you've
Yeah.
seen it, you will know what we're referring to.
Yeah,
Really,
if you haven't seen it and you're listening to this,
we just
cool,
ran.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, go you. More
Just like
power
hearing
to
the
you.
sound of our voices.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about anything. Come for next episode where we talk about artichokes. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for what we're
Yeah,
consuming, man.
our first of the new
Yeah,
long
the new
format.
format.
What are we
Yeah.
what we are consuming?
Hmm.
Hopefully, you guys liked it.
Let us
And
know.
if you want to suggest stuff for us to cover, since we have more time to cover, like these things, media, movies, whatever games you want
Hmm.
to play with us.
Yeah,
Yeah, just hit us up again, and then I guess we'll catch you in the next one. We're
definitely.
not sure what it is yet, what
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
do, but
yeah. Figure it out.
it'll
We're still in like the transition period, so a lot of things can still change, but we're happy to be getting back going and hope you enjoyed.
uh give me a second.
Waiting for that outro music.
Yep.
Until then, you can always check in the show notes for whatever, like I guess mainly for the spoiler portion and for links to stuff that you can donate to. And I think I'll link also the app that I'm using for my webcam. I feel like that's relevant to link because I didn't. It's kind of hard to talk about it. Like Ireon cam.
If you
I'll
want to
just
give
link it.
away your freedom and privacy.
Yeah, yeah. If you're cool with that, which for me, totally fine.
The price to pay is heavy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm
For
willing to pay that
1080p.
price. Snowden, shout out! You can see us right now.
Yo, for no one's home, this is Clow.
This was Mark.
Peace out, yo.
Peace.